You welcome. Oh, low network connection. Don't be. We're back on. Hope we're live. I'm guessing we are. I'll soon see if anyone joins us tonight. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. And it's not even 100 days pumped. Tonight is 30 minute, no longer. The clock is ticking. And of course, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, you missed the boat. G'day, Dennis. Sharon Kane, Troy Elliott, how are you, team? Melanie Webber, Meryl Kirk, great team. And Meryl, you've been through this training live, you've seen it live, I've just scaled it right back. Bobby Lenz, g'day Melanie, how are you, love? How's Bub? Hope it's going well. And Richard, thanks for joining in. Look, let's crank into the material, team. Ange, I'll try to give everyone a mention. Hey Anton, how are you going, girl? Kelvin Peachy, the wildest construction supervisor on the planet. Team, tonight, let's get into some content for the next 30 minutes. You can be on. I don't know if you can be on. Can you be on? Let's do that another time, Kelvin. But feel free to ask questions, mate. I'll try to answer them as we rock. Now, public presentation skills. Fantastic. I'll tell you what, I was only thinking just before we started this that it's nearly another topic for the 100 days pumped. Seriously, this skill, if you master it, and once you get over your fears, which Meryl's on here, Meryl's written a testimonial of how good this training is in real life. I'm in Melbourne, so can't hang around or I'll get shot. We'll watch later. Stay pumped, man. Watch it later, champion. Absolutely. Hello, Donna Ellis. We were talking last night online. So, it's a fantastic skill to have, presentation skills, team, and it's sort of like if you're in a small business, if you're a team leader, if you've got a role where you need to influence, right, or, guide, lead, share a message, this skill, some of the stuff I'll show you tonight, simple stuff, bang, make an instant change. G'day, Jason McMillan, my old mate from Nudgee College in Brisbane, Queensland. So we're going to cover off on a couple of key things, and the first one's getting over this fear of public speaking. Why, team? Why is everyone so scared of this thing? It's just really doing this. Like, I can't even see it, but we're getting some interaction here, and when people are in front of you, it's even so much easier to actually public speak because you can actually talk to them and you can have that conversation, and that's all presentations are, team. It's a conversation with more than one person. You're just not talking to one-on-one. You're talking to 1-on-5 or 1-on-10 or 1-on-100 or 1-on-1,000, whatever the case may be for you. If you've got big goals to be public speaker, a world-changing public speaker, it might be in the thousands of people one day that you present to, and I wish you all the best and rock on. And it's so much fun. I'm in the hundreds. I haven't done the thousands yet, but certainly hundreds is very achievable for most people to grab an audience like that. You'd be amazed how many audiences there are out there waiting to hear what you, looking down the camera at you, have got to say. All that experience that you've got, all those skills that you've learned over time, all that knowledge that you have. G'day, Scott. How are you, man? Thanks for joining us. People want to hear it. People want to hear it. And they want to hear it authentically, team. They don't want you to be someone else. They want to be you. They're there to listen to you. They want you to succeed, and they want to hear you speak from the heart. So I'm going to teach you how to do a little bit of that tonight. One of the key things I'm really going to teach you tonight is how to tell a good yarn, a good story. Storytelling so important to presentation skills. Let's get cranking now first. Fears. Fear. You've got to do a public speech tomorrow, Scott. No way. I couldn't do that. Oh yeah, you can. You'd be amazed what you can achieve. It's actually, it's funny because people just, and Meryl's been through this. When I first met Meryl, and I'm going to use you as a case study, Meryl, I hope you don't mind, love. When I first met Meryl, she was really scared of public speaking, and I get it, because there was a time when I'm sure I was too. I can't remember being that scared of it. I remember having the butterflies and stuff. I remember at school, thinking, gee, that would be a tough gig to have to get up and do that. But hello Madonna, Richter, how are you, girl? Hope you're well. Hope I've said your last name right. I don't know if I ever have, Richter. And eventually, you sort of learn, you get over yourself, and eventually you come to a point where you go, you know what? What's the worst that can happen? Really, what's the worst that can happen? So when I'm doing this training with people, we go on a bit of a journey and we talk about, really, is it the fear of public speaking that you have? Like, you know that public speaking fear is people's second greatest fear, only to dying. They fear death. We all fear death. That's our greatest fear on the planet. Our second greatest fear is public speaking. What? Talk me through that. How does that happen? How do we get so worked up, literally, about a conversation that we're going to have with more than one person? Literally. But we get so worked up about it. And someone that's on here tonight also made a comment in one of our sessions after we spend a good couple of hours on this if we do this live, because it takes. I'm going to give you the tips short tonight. We go on a bit of a journey though if we're together, and this particular individual at the end of that said, you know, I now realise that I probably won't die public speaking. And I said, you're right. Well said. You probably won't die. I don't know anyone actually that's died public speaking. I don't know anyone that's been injured. I'm sure someone's fallen off a stage one time. I don't know anyone. Maybe there's been a heart attack. Maybe there's been a stroke. I haven't heard about anything like that. So it's not actually public speaking that you fear, believe it or not. So if I ask you now to be really honest with me, and you gave me your top, say, 3 or 4 fears. So someone tells you, or asks you to do a talk tomorrow in front of a team or your business or your local Rotary Club, or I don't know, whatever it is. It's not actually being in front of people and having a conversation that you freak out about. It's not. It's things like judgment. Oh, Anton, they're going to judge me. It's, oh, you know, Anton, I might get a tough question that I can't answer. And I might look silly. G'day, Joel. Thanks for joining in, man. I might forget what I was going to say. Absolutely. Chances are you probably are. And I'm going to forget a few times tonight, and you'll hear me go. And if I ask you where I was up to, maybe someone type in there, judgment, yes, Madonna, absolutely. Doesn't matter what people think. Madonna, can I tell you something, love? Just between you and me. In the cone of silence. No, I don't know if anyone else is listening to this. There's only a few listening. It's none of your business what people think. There's the thought. And I say that to everyone. It's none of our business what people think of us. And you know what? People are going to... Hello, Lewis. Thanks for joining in, mate. It's none of our business what if I say something wrong and the audience starts laughing at me? Absolutely. And guess what? The beautiful part about presenting and public speaking is this, Richard. The people in the audience want you to succeed. And it's a great question, though. I've probably been laughed at. You probably have too. The thing about it is that, actually, here's the thought for you. I'm going to give you a thought to that, Richard. That you want people laughing at you, and you want people laughing with you. Self-effacing humour is the best humour on the planet. Take the piss out of yourself and get people laughing at you. And watch how quickly you build rapport with them. See, if you're up there, if you're really in the zone. Now, I'm going to tell you this, though. Before I say this next bit, I want to say, Angela, right, we're only about 48 or 36 hours away from seeing you for a live retreat over the weekend. And this will be some skills that you'll find helpful, Angela, too, with your new leadership role. So, the thing about it is that people want you to succeed, and where was I going with that before I've got to stop saying good day to everyone, haven't I? So, remember I told you I was going to forget to say something today. If you're prepared, now, I'm going to ask you now, I'm going to actually plead with you. I don't have a lot of time tonight to take you through the ins and outs of why I'm so passionate about this. And I'm spending a third of the time tonight already, and we haven't even really got into any content on fear, getting over fear. Joseph Guinea, here's one of the best public speakers in Gladstone. Be prepared. There's only 3 things you need to know before you get up and speak to any group. Prepare, prepare, prepare. I'm going to say to you, I'm going to plead with you, don't get up in front of a group without being prepared. you're not doing yourself justice, and they've put the time into it. And maybe their bosses said they've got to be there. So their bosses put some time, effort, and money and resources. If you're a paid public speaker, someone's paying you to be in that room, and those people potentially are paying for you. The public speaking rates are through the roof, team. You won't believe what people get paid to public speak. And you've got to add value. You've got to add massive amounts of value to get paid well to public speak. Do not ever, and even if you don't get paid, it doesn't matter. Don't stand in front of people unless you're highly prepared. If you're not prepared, guess what? You will be freaking out. How do you prepare? 3 quick things. Ditch PowerPoint. And I don't mean ditch it literally, I mean ditch it in your prep. Now, there's a way to use PowerPoint and there's a way not to use PowerPoint. I can quickly, believe it or not, I'm actually using it in the background here. See, now there's one of my slides, right? I don't know if I can show you next one. See, they're my slides. No words. I'm using them as a bit of a prompt. Probably don't really need them tonight for 30 minutes. Rebecca Davison, how you going, love? The slides, guess what, are not for you. They're for your audience. Because there's visual learners there who want some beautiful graphics. That's all I use, beautiful graphics and pictures that you can get for free. So you need to be able to do your prezzo without PowerPoint. Reason is the technology could fail. You could forget what you're going to say. Sometimes you don't even, I don't use that a lot of the time. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I go off script. Only because I know my material so well. Get to know your material, smash it out at least 3 to 5 times before you stand in front of anyone and deliver it. And you'll be so well rehearsed, so prepared, you won't have to think. You won't be worried about forgetting because you'll know. Find your hubby or your significant other or your wife. James Lawther, how are you, champ? Hope you're well down there, down south in Victoria, I think, Mexico. It's called PowerPoint, not Power Paragraph. Never heard that Power Paragraph, man. I know. I love PowerPoint now that I know how to use it because it's more fun when for me preparing it because like you saw, there's not a lot of words on these. I find the most beautiful pictures, and Angela, you'll see some of these on the weekend at our retreat. There's beautiful pictures. There's some of these sunrise. Some of them I use my own photos and just talk to the photos, and that's all you have to do. When you're presenting, if you're an absolute expert in the content material, you'll never be frightened, never be fearful, never. It can't happen because you're a subject matter expert. If I asked you now, here's the easiest way to explain it. If I ask you now, I've got to keep an eye on time. Please talk now for the next 5 minutes on whatever it is you're passionate about. Richard Steele, how are you, mate? Up there, up north somewhere now. You've moved away from Gladstone. You could talk for 3 to 5 minutes, and I'll spit over everything, on a topic that you know and love instantaneously. You do it every day. You do it at work. All right? And so you could public speak about that. So when you know your material, you'll never be frightened. Prepare. Ditch the PowerPoint in the prep. Make sure you've got a nice PowerPoint slideshow, though, that's got no words on it. It's just got photos and a couple of key messages. And remember, it's for the audience. PowerPoint's not for you, team. It's for them. So that the visual learners look up at those beautiful photos and are sort of mesmerised while you're talking. The auditory people, they won't even see them. They'll just be listening and hanging off every word. And the kinesthetic people will be writing everything you say, or the doing people. So you sort of got to cater for everyone, see? And that's what preparation's about. And that's what doing a good PowerPoint slideshow, but ditching it for your prep is really, really key. And 2 more quick things. Talk it down. What I mean by talk it down is, if someone asks you to do a slideshow, a prezzo or a public session, don't freak out. Don't say, I'm the worst public speaker in Australia, or I freak out when I'm speaking. See, the way that we language stuff, the way that we talk about things is how we respond emotionally, right? Talk yourself up. Oh, great, I'll smash that out tomorrow. Bring it on. Can you get 50 people there instead of 5? Absolutely, great. When do we start? Or go on, hello Michelle Jones, how are you, girl? Hope you enjoy this. We're 12 minutes in. We're just finishing the fear piece, and then we'll get into actually how to do the work, how to do the presenting. Talk it up. Talk yourself up. I've talked about this in the 100-day pump. Don't talk yourself down. don't expect your public session or your public speaking to go badly. Don't say, well, I'm no good at this, or I always freak out, or I'm going to forget. Absolutely not. So I'm going to be prepared. I'm ready to go. Game on. Let me at it. See the passion and the power that comes with that. Talk yourself up. Oh, I missed all that. Sorry, team. Lose audience interest. Lots of presentations. Sorry, mate. I just can't see what's going on there. What you're talking about, the difference between learning styles. Yeah, you got to understand learning styles, and I won't cover everything in half an hour, but I'll do the best I can. Learning styles are so important, and you'll get to know people in your audience how they learn. Just watch them, ask them. Some people will tell you, well, that really feels right to me. Absolutely. So there you go. There's a doing learner or a feeling type learner, right? So you want to hit them in the heart because they feel stuff. Too much info for now. Just get over your fear of public speaking. Talk yourself up. Ditch PowerPoint prezos in the preparation. Get really nice ones with nice graphics on it. And be authentic. And I know I've already said it, so I'm not going to labour it. Be you. You've got to be you, team. Yes, find someone to model. Role model a great public speaker. Get a TED Talk that you know and love, and role model Anders or Simon Sinek or Tony Robbins, or find a role model that just does this shit really, really coolly. And role model them, absolutely, but don't try to be them. You've got to be you. People don't come to hear Simon Sinek, they come to hear you. I'm hopeful, because I know I'm halfway through it now. I'm hopeful that everyone's starting to get a feel for getting over their public speak. And this is part of the process anyway. You've got to prep well, and you've got to be ready and on your game. Now, just before we get into the meat of this, is be memorable. 2 words for you. It's one of our business's philosophy. It's be memorable. I think I'm missing a few names. Stephen Lindley and Jackie Lindley, Amanda DeLucy. Kerry Lyle, an old school teacher from way back. She might have tonight too. So I'm sure I've been told I freak out when trainers are in the room and teachers are in the room, because apparently I do everything wrong. And look, and if I do, I'd love some feedback. And please, and I try to take all that feedback on board, I really do. To me, I only have a couple of goals when I'm public speaking, and here are 2 of them. Be memorable and be engaging. Be memorable. When people walk out of your session, team, you want them talking about it tomorrow. You want to hit them in the heart. You'll never be memorable unless you hit people in the heart, unless you change some emotions, right? When they go, wow, really? Holy moly. So you take people on a journey. And I'll talk you through that when we come to storytelling. What did I say before? What were the 3? Well, there was 2 things, wasn't there? Be memorable. Oh, be engaging. See, if people ask me what I do, I say I'm a facilitator. I'm not a public speaker. I'm not a trainer. I'm not a presenter. Facilitator. What's a facilitator? Facilitator is someone who manages a discussion, who chairs a discussion. And that's all public speaking is. It's about a discussion with 20 or 30 or 50 or 100 people, right? And it's about managing that discussion. That's what a facilitator is. And believe it or not, as a presenter, that's what you are. And if you present well, guess what? You won't do as much as the talking as you think you're going to do. You're going to do less talking, and they're going to do more talking if you're engaging, believe it or not. And as a public speaker, be open. I always say to my audiences, which I think freaks them out a bit at the start, I say, thanks for coming, because I need to learn something today. We're here to learn off you. I get as much learning from the audience as they get from me, believe it or not. And I'm happy to say that, and I'm really open about that, because I want to learn, and I want people to contribute. As a public speaker, you need to give people the opportunity to contribute and to be themselves and to be open and honest. And sometimes you're going to get tough questions, real tough questions. You're going to get some negative feedback too that you might not like, and that's quite all right. Bring it, because you need to know that stuff. Now, let's get into the real meat. So when you're on stage, what are you going to be thinking about doing? Well, you know what, tonight, this is going to be totally different for the next 10 or 15 minutes than you expect. You probably, and I don't know what you expect, so I shouldn't just presume that you have an expectation. I'm not going to tell you about body language or how to speak or how to stand. I'm not going to tell you about what to say and what not to say. I'm not going to tell you not to swear, and, you know, like all the boring stuff. I'm going to tell you how to hit people in the heart. That's what it is for me. Engage, be memorable and engage, and be a facilitator. So, couple of quick principles though, and the first principle is that when you're public speaking, you actually are having just a discussion with more than one person. Job done. I've said it a few times now, we'll move on. Second thing about the principles of public speaking is this, that you're in a very, very responsible role. You're in a really responsible position. So please don't abuse that responsibility. People have come to hear what you have to say, and you have got something to say. Believe deep down in your heart of hearts that you've got something to say. When you get to the point where you know, and I don't say you don't think, when you know deep down in your heart of hearts that what you've got to say is important, you'll become a great public speaker, because you'll want to share your message with people. You'll know how to share your message because it'll come from the heart and be authentic. Now, here's a quick, let's say 5, and I do everything in odd numbers. I don't know why, the brain likes odd numbers for some reason. You'll always see on my slideshows as multiples of 3, multiples of 5, multiples of 7. Does that help? Apparently. 5 rules of public speaking. It's not about you. What? It's not about you. Yes, people come and see you. At the end of the day, who do you think judges whether you've done a good talk or not? It's not you. You might feel fantastic, but guess what? If you haven't engaged, if you haven't facilitated a great discussion, you haven't done a great job. It's not about you, and it never is. It's always about your audience team. It's always about how they feel. It's always about how they leave. It's always about how they engage. When you're preparing, and if you're fearful, if you have that fear at the start of it, you're thinking more about you than your audience. When you are totally giving, when you're totally committed, when you're totally focused on giving and the outcome and being present for your audience and doing what it takes to inspire, to motivate, to call to action, then you're game on. Then you're really, really game on. So it will never be about you. It's always about your audience. It's not about what you put into a prezzo. People get into the habit of trying to cram a whole lot of stuff. Now, I know I've got half an hour, and in 30 minutes' time we're shutting down game on because I'm going to value your time. And I do what I say I'm going to do. If I say these are the rules, these are the rules. That's why I speak too. You know, if stuff goes over time when I'm presenting, bang, because I value people's time. It's not about me, it's about them. And tonight it's about you. You've given me 30 minutes of your time, so I'm trying to fit a whole lot into 30 minutes. So it's what you leave out that's important, not what you leave in. This is a full-day training session, team. It's a 2-day training session. Some businesses give me a day to work with their staff. This is 2 days if you let me at it, really, and you want to become an expert, because we do the video stuff and all that over the second days and train people and watch them and critique them, blah, blah, blah. We're doing this in half an hour. It's not what I've put into the half an hour, it's what I've left out, right? So really understand you can't fit everything that you want to say in. And this comes back to whether it was James Lawther before who said, it's power paragraph. Darnie Swimmer, I mean, one of my favourite dudes on the planet. What a fan! I love catching up with Darnie whenever we do. It's not for long, mate, but thanks for joining in. It's okay to get back to people. So it's all right if you are presenting, if you're speaking, you get a tough question. Champ, can I get back to you on that? Thanks. I'll follow you up. And it's always a good opportunity to follow up with people too when you get a tough question. Here's one that spins people out. Now, I want you just to sit on this before you make comment. Hello, Lynette. Thanks for joining us. We haven't got much longer, but we're cranking. I'm going to give you 4 words. Now, you may like these or you may not. Some people really don't like them. I put them in very, very specifically. It's all about entertainment. It's all about entertainment. When you're speaking, guess what, team? You've got to have a bit of pumped. Kieran, how are you, man? Or Mrs. Sorry, lady or gent, not sure. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for tuning in. It's all about entertainment, and you know you got to have a little bit of humour. There's got to be a little bit of sadness and joy with your storytelling. At the end of the day, you'll never be memorable. I told you the 2 key things about being memorable and engaging. Got to be fully entertaining, and for you, you know, like. And it doesn't need to be a Tony Robbins entertaining with the arms flailing and can I get like, you know, like some people don't respond to that team, and you really have to just get into your audience's mind and their heart and their soul and understand what entertaining means to them, because it's not about you, it's about them. You'll see it in their face. Be very aware, and that's the thing about public speaking, team. When you've done it enough, the beautiful thing is you'll learn to read people. You want to learn to read people, you want to become an expert in human communication, just do some public speaking. You'll notice eye twitches, you'll notice mouth movements, you'll notice everything. Because you won't be focused on your material, you'll be focused on your audience. And that's the whole key of this, is to give your best, to give them the best. And it's your go up there. Take your time, to be yourself. You know, if they're giving you 10 minutes, do your best in 10 minutes. If you've got 2 hours, make the most of those 2 hours. Now, 3 stages of public speaking. Really, really important. Get into rapport, engage, and then close out. Get into rapport. What do I mean by get into rapport? Get connection. Instantaneously bang off the bat, before you've even said a word, before you've even opened your mouth. You should have met people. You should have been out there doing the handshake thing. You should have been looking around. You should work out who's who in the zoo. Work out who the supervisor is, who the leader is, who the manager is, because they're going to have something to say. They're going to want to lead the discussion too. Great, bring it on. I always have a phone call. I can't remember the last time that I spoke to a group without speaking to someone in it, at least one person, if not everyone, before I even get there. And you've got to know people, team. And how do you get in rapport? Find something that you've got in common, and you can do it that quickly. Bang! If you know what someone likes or loves, and you know their kids' names or whatever it is, how you going? How if you met someone a week ago and they told you their fishing story, how'd you go fishing on the weekend? Jim, Paul, Jill, whatever. Rapport. The sooner you can get in rapport with your audience, and you know how else. And this is like the 1 minute get into rapport spiel, right? So I'm giving you just the bare bones. Dress like your audience, right? If you're going to speak at a CEO's breakfast, you want to get kitted out. If you're going to speak at Rotary, you want to wear casual clothes. So rapport is so much about having something in common and being in common with people. And it's about having credibility. This is a real key thing. I'm talking to you about public speaking tonight. So I've done this since 2004 was my first one. I've been lucky enough to speak in other countries, in non-English speaking countries. Try that on for size when they can't even understand what you're saying. Seriously. And then it was the whole rock star thing afterwards, because I got books and stuff and they want it signed, and we can't talk, we can't communicate. They're just looking at slides. And I was just lucky that I was talking about my burns incident. And all my skin was falling off, and there was all great photos of stuff, and you know, they were all, oh, you know, like it was, I could see the facial expressions, and all I could do was go up and down in my voice, and I really had to overemphasize my body language that night, it was a day, sorry, and you know, you can get into rapport and you can get credible really, really fast, team. And you've got to care a little bit. I talk about caring a lot, right? So one of my core values in life is connection and connectivity, and part of that is caring about people's experience when they're in the room with me. It's not about me, it's about them. I know I've said it 100 times, it's so important. Engagement. So step 2, rapport, engage. What have I been talking about? Engagement. And we talked about the learning styles. That was one of them. Ask questions. Absolutely, and tell great stories. Become, you want to be a good speaker, team? Become fantastic at telling a good yarn. John Irwin, another nudgy boy. How are you, champ? Good to see you online. Stories. So, some of my favourites. And you know what? Like I say, what's a good story? It needs a very good, very, very specific start, whichever way you're looking at this. And by the way, if you're going to tell a story and it's past and present, here's just one thing that is really, really crucial about the technical parts of public speaking. Start on the right of the stage and work to your left as you're looking at people, right? Because their past is here and their future's there. And stand on the left. I'll give you a little bit of technical stuff. Stand on the left of the screen as they look at it, because Europeans go left to right when they're reading. So they'll be looking at you, then they'll be looking at the screen. I've got 1 minute. Tell powerful, engaging stories. I tell them about my burns, how I nearly died. I tell people about how I had my skin torn off. I tell people what it's like to get a suppository and get a nurse putting things in your backside when you don't enjoy it. I tell stories about Ironman triathlon, what it's like to go for 12 hours, hurt like a banshee, and not being able to breathe, to get through that. It's just a horrible and it's a terrible experience, but I love it. Why? Because there's a finish line at the end of it, and you can have a 1 minute story, you can have a 10-minute story, as long as it's got a start and an end point, and as long as it takes people up and down on an emotional journey. Now, I want to close this out with a really important part of your speaking, and it's close out. Within the minute that I've got left, please team, please put some time into your close out. I use surveys if you've been there, and I ask people whether they had a good time. Thanks, Steve, mate, great, thanks, champion. I ask people whether they enjoyed it, and you'll never get into one of my talks without being surveyed. But it's not about the survey, it's not about feedback, because to me, the feedback gives me just the opportunity to go to my employer and say, look, your team thought that they had a great day today. It's about closing out for your audience, because your speech is, you've been there for half an hour, you've had some really important things to say, and generally the closeout is a call to action. Team, it's 7:30, tune in again one time. I'm going to do a few more of these live trainings. Have a fantastic night. Oh, if you want to stick something down in the comments, because I'm going to commit to answering every question I get tonight, or what might not be tonight, but in this stream if there's a stream. So, team, thank you so much for coming tonight. Hope you had a great night. Love your work. Thank you, team. Thanks, Donna. Awesome stuff. Beautiful. Good night. And love to all.